and split-screen co-op in every...
You fucking...
Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville. A bit of a controversial topic when it comes to the PvZ shooters. And now I will get this out of the way first. I do like BFN, I think it's okay. And before you come at me with your pitchforks and your torches and you want to crucify me and whatnot, give me a second. Just give me 1 second. I do have my problems with this game. And it's a good bit. Now, this game obviously came out around 2020, 2021-ish, I think. If I remember correctly, it came out in like a early access type thing. I got it when it came out. I thought it was the shit. I thought it was fun, but over the course of time, I've seen that it's a bit sour when it comes to it. There's a lot of differences between it and its predecessors, Garden Warfare 1 and 2, and there are things that I like about the game, and there are things that I dislike about the game. But onto our sort of list of what we're going to be going over for the video. We're going to be going over the changes in the gameplay between BFN and its predecessor, and just the gameplay in general of, you know, how it is and whatnot. Then we'll be going over the new characters and the returning characters. Then we'll be going over the big differences between BFN and GW2. And for the fourth and final, well, not really final, but for the fourth topic, we'll be talking about what led to this game's downfall and what I personally feel what led to its downfall. And as for a fifth and final thing, a conclusion to the video to wrap everything in a nice big bow. But besides that, sit back and relax and enjoy the video. And hey, while you're at it, if you want to, subscribe, like, comment, dislike if you want to. I don't care. But please sit back and relax and enjoy the video. And on to our first section, the differences of the gameplay and just the gameplay in general. Now, the changes in the gameplay in general and all around between BFN and GW1 and 2 is kind of a overall change in the idea of the gameplay. Now, bear with me here, please. Garden Warfare 1 and 2, you can kind of compare it to, like, let's say TF2, talk about Team Fortress 2. And for BFN, you can kind of compare it to Overwatch in a way. Just please hear me out on this one. Hear me out, Walt. With Garden Warfare 1 and 2, it's like you can work with the team and win, but you can also just go on your own as, like, I don't know, Toxic Brains, Agent P, etc., and go on in these high kill streaks, destroying the lobby and just absolute tearing them a new one. But for BFN, it's a little more like Overwatch to me, to where it has a general idea of teamwork, where you have, like, you know, your support classes, your damage classes, your tank classes, etc. And it's like you kind of have to work as a team to do the objective, but that's where that idea fails when it comes into the idea of the upgrades, because there are no variants in BFN, which I hate how they took out the variants, because that's the core identity of Garden Warfare 2. Not only is it a PvZ shooter, which is fucking awesome, but variants were just just like the meat and potatoes of Garden Warfare 1 and 2. It's what made the game fun, was the different gameplay and styles of gameplay that you can do with, like, I don't know, like Agent P dealing more damage to headshots, and Fire P doing fire damage, and I don't know, like the Tank Commander basically shooting out diluted ZPG rockets. The list goes on and on and on. And yet, you lose that with upgrades, because at least with the variants in Garden Warfare 2, each variant can be used to a certain degree. Each variant can at least hold their own. I'm not saying that all variants are equal and that all of them are good and bad, There are the good ones, and there are the bad ones, and there are the really good ones. But when it comes to BFN's upgrading system, it's like, you have the meta upgrades, and then you have, like, the ones you never fucking use. It's like, what's the purpose? What's the purpose of it? It makes no sense. It's mind-boggling to me how we had this perfect system to where you had the variants, all of them had their own unique ups and downs, and they all worked well on their own. And then the upgrade system is like, okay, we're gonna start adding more sugar, more chocolate, more etc. to this like cake and whatnot. And you can like pick and choose which ones. And you can have like a really good chocolate cake that has like, you know, delicious cream filling, a delicious like chocolate ganache going over it. And then you have bear pie on the right that's filled with, I don't know, meat, chocolate, and like onion jam. Weird analogy, I know. But besides that, some other general changes for the gameplay, you know, the interact button was changed. Everyone's able to sprint now, which I like that a little bit, but again, I like the idea that everyone is sprinting. And the gameplay just feels a little slower to me. But again, it could just be that I'm so used to Garden Warfare 2's TTK, and I think it's faster than this. And I do gotta say, my most welcoming change is the health. I like the healing in this game. It's overheal now. But again, that's just like TF2, which I like TF2 a lot. And that really has been all of the changes in the gameplay between BFN, Garden Warfare 1, 2. It's went from more of a, you can work as a team, or you can kind of go on your own and do good, to you have to work as a team, but yet they executed it in not such a good way, I'd say. But besides that, on to our next section of the video, the new characters and some changes to the old ones. Now, for the new characters in BFN, you have the 80s action hero, electric slide, and the space cadet for the zombies. For plants, you have Snapdragon, Acorn, and Nightcap. For the zombies, 80s action hero is pretty cool, I gotta say. I like him. He's very fun. It's a little something new that it's just new. I like him. He's fun. He's got a pretty cool design. I like how he gets like the muscles on his back bulging and whatnot. His abilities are kind of fuck all, because it's just, one of them is you literally just move out the way, and the other two are, I'm going to fucking murder you in 5 seconds. His primary weapon is interesting a little bit, because on one hand, you can just press right trigger or left click and you just shoot once and like a little spread, or you can hold it down and get a smaller spread, as with the wider spread being weaker, the middle spread being slightly stronger, and the closer spread being very, very strong. And I think when you hit someone with a charge shot, it has a little targeting thing on them. I don't know. Again, this is my first time playing the game since like 2019. But overall, 80s action hero was pretty fucking fun, in my opinion. I'd say if I had to rank like a tier list, I'd say he's in like A tier. Now, Electric Slide, she is also pretty fun, I'd say. Your electric variant, in a way, she's still kind of precision, I think, but it does have the arc that, you know, if you have like two plants together, the electricity is going to arc through them and do damage to both. Her abilities are, one kind of pushes the plants away, kind of like the gravity gun from Half-Life. The other one is just the energy warp from Scientist from GW 1 and 2. And her right ability just throws out a tornado that you can also detonate. Her abilities are like, give or take, they're useful, but overall it's kind of like forgettable. I think the only memorable one is the little throwable thing and the tornado. But overall, she's fun too. She's pretty fun. Now, the Space Cadet is kind of weird to me, because it's like the Z-Mech, sort of, but diluted. Her base playstyle is a little fun. You have auto tracking with your turret. The abilities are, you have a laser that's very precise that you're gonna miss half the time, and then you have an ability where you go up in the air and you smash down to the earth. That gives you like head trauma or some shit, and it's like, okay, where am I gonna use this for? But the middle ability, the Y ability you could say, is sort of a Z-Mech type thing where you turn into like a space station, and other people can combine to you. Like, I think 3 other Space Cadets. And this is the mode that I majority of the time see Space Cadets using. And I tried using it and I died in like 20 seconds. It was abhorrently useless. I think it works better when you're actually teaming up with people and not just going fuck all and doing bullshit. Overall, she's interesting. It's nothing I really would write home about. It's just, she's Imp with a bigger health pool with a diluted mech. That's kind of what she really is. Now, for the plants, you have the Snapdragon, basically your fire elemental variant of the game. He is pretty chill, I have to say. Pretty chill. He's an overheat character. His main ability is, you know, just fire breath, like a flamethrower in a way, kind of like pyro. But when you hold left trigger, he has like kind of a projectile weapon, which is pretty cool. His abilities are, I'm going to murder you in 5 seconds. Well, majority of them. One of them is kind of like a AoE attack to like wall off an area with fire. It's pretty cool. His design's alright. It's just the design from PvZ 2, but a little more smoother looking. Also, a note on the design of Space Cadet and Electric Slide. They're fine, I guess. Space Cadet, I gotta say, got better treatment than Electric Slide. I'm just saying. But overall, Snapdragon's pretty chill. Nightcap, the annoyance of the game. Holy fuck. Rotten hell, you piece of shit. Sort of your imp-like class, but instead of having a mech, you're just a stealth class. Kind of like Spy from TF2. You get behind the enemy lines, you get a kill or two, you have an ability to where you kind of AoE attack that hides all the plants and slows down any zombies that go into it. And she has an ability that also is kind of like Superbrains' like Spin Attack 2 from Garden Warfare 2, but instead it kind of feels a lot more useful. And her final ability is literally just cloaking from TF2 for Spy. But instead of it, you know, going down kind of slowly, it just goes off. It just goes kind of fast. It's like the Cloak and Dagger, but minus the, when you stop moving, it recharges. It's just the Cloak and Dagger, but worse. But Nightcap is fine. It's just like a iffy class for me. And her design is pretty freaking cool. I like it. I like the little thingy that, like, it's off of her and whatnot. The little thing that wiggles around whenever you're moving around. Pretty cool. Now, Acorn. Acorn is literally just the Z-Mech of the plants. And not diluted. He is a beast to reckon with. The little guy itself, very fast. How the hell do you hit that fucking thing? Flying at like Mach 10. He has 3 abilities, obviously. The mech ability, you have one where you kind of dodge out the way, and the other one's like a sticky bomb, where you throw it out, you dead it. It's kind of like the sticky bomb launcher from TF2. Now, when you get to the big tree guy, I forgot his name, he is pretty fucking beefy. His abilities are a bigger sticky bomb that does a lot more damage and also does knockback, a lot more knockback. You also have this kind of log that you throw out that it's like a rolling tire in a way. It's kind of hard to explain. And obviously the third ability is just deconstruct out the mech mode. But he is really, really fucking good. And I'd say he may be even overpowered in some ways, because he deals heavy damage. But overall, I think he's pretty fun. I think all the new characters are fun in their own way, but it's just, I feel like there needs to be some changes to some of their abilities and their playstyles and how they look overall. So, Electric Slide, I'd say I'd put her in like B tier. Space Cadet, probably B tier also. Snapdragon, A tier. Nightcap, C tier. Acorn, B tier. Overall, I don't mind the new characters. I like when they add new characters to the games. I like when they added Citron, Superbrains, Corn, etc., GW2, and I am welcoming to the new characters in this game. And now, we're going over some of the changes to the old characters. Some of the most notable ones that I know about is for Captain Deadbeard and Acorn. For the sort of sniper style, it's a charge shot now, to where the longer it charges, the more damage you do. In a way, sniper from TF2. There's a lot of things in this game that like TF2, which, hey, I can't blame it because TF2 is a very influential game. And for Captain Deadbeard, his shotgun uses more ammo, and also the sniper round. I don't know why, because of the original one from the GW2. For Cactus, for her primary, besides the sniper mode, it is kind of like an SMG in a way, kind of like Sniper from TF2. If that's a bit of a stretch, I'm gonna say right there. Those are the two differences for them, for mainly attacking. Ability-wise, roughly the same. The Cactus has kind of a weird ability where she can fly up in the air and hover for a little bit. And Captain Deadbeard has like a grappling hook ability that kind of sucks. And like, why do we need that? We just keep the cannon. The cannon was perfectly fine. It dealt good damage. Dealt really good damage. Some other notable changes are the Superbrains and Citron. Superbrains is still relatively the same, you could say. He can still do the 1-2-3 punch. Just, I feel like it's a little slower than what it was in Garden Warfare 2. But in Garden Warfare 2, it's just the punch. And holding left click, you had the beam. In BFN, you have this like fuck off shield that dies in like 3 seconds. It makes no sense. Why? And also, BFN Superbrains has like this charge fist ability, and it's just like Cosmic Brains from GW2. But instead this time, it just deals big damage. But in GW2, when you have charge fist from Cosmic Brain, you murder people. In game, by the way, dude. In game. And it's like, bro, what has society come to? It's so crazy to me, man. Like, what the fuck? You had this perfect character with his perfect abilities, and you fucking ruin it. Now, not to say that the new abilities that they have are bad. It's just the ones from Garden Warfare 2 are, in my opinion, leagues better. But I do have to say, the kind of uppercut, jump and punch down is kind of cool. I feel like it fit him if he wasn't Garden Warfare 2. But again, we don't really need that. His base kit was perfectly fine enough. And now for Citron, I have to say, I'm not upset with the changes, except for the shield. The shield I am a little offended on, I'd say. So, his main weapon is kind of like a minigun-esque weapon, in a way. His shield, you have to actually hold like left click or left trigger or right click to pull it up. And it isn't like the one in GW2 where you can still shoot while having it out. You can't. You're just a walking wall. It's like Reinhardt from Overwatch, but worse, in my opinion. The only remnant of his laser gun from GW2 is through a ability, bro. Like, what in tarnation? And it's like, you have to be super precise about it, and I feel like it just doesn't do enough damage. And it's like, I don't know. Give or take is what you think about it. And the ball ability, bro. The ball ability, rest in peace, dude. The ability that made Citron so broken, in my opinion, where you're able to just go into a ball and run away to the back of the enemy lines and get rack up kills and shit. It's like Iron Citron or Party Citron, etc., etc. It's all just in his sprint, and honestly, I'm not a big fan of the design for a sprint. Yeah, you could say, oh, it looks like an orange. I prefer this like the good spherical ball. Holy chopped! Super Brains looks ugly, and I even say Citron looks ugly as fuck too. And honestly, back to Captain Deadbeard, he looks chill. Cactus looks like a fucking plant. Okay, that's it. Now, for some other changes, we have the pea shooter and the scientist. Now for the pea shooter, he's mostly unchanged from 1 and 2. It's just that one of his abilities is no longer hyper since this game has sprinting, and it's this like hover ability. Why? You press it, you jump, you hold like left trigger or fucking right click to hover, and you shoot like a second faster? Huh? That's so fucking stupid. That's so fucking stupid. Why do we need that shit? Why do we fucking need it? Why? Why, PopCap? Why? We had a good thing going, you know. You should have blown it all away with you and your pride and your ego. You fucking ruined it. His design is okay. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like how the eyebrows are like bones in his head that like contort his skin. I hate it. I don't like it. The scientist, it's mainly how his healing works and how his other 2 abilities work. And even his warp ability. His warp ability, I'd say, is better in BFN than Garden Warfare 2 because instead of warping just in one direction in GW2 and 1, you warp in any direction you're walking in. You can warp backwards, forwards, sideways, fucking up and down probably. But with his healing, instead of having the kind of heal beam he had in GW2, or the heal station, his weapon is like a heal spray. And I vastly prefer that than compared to the heal beam, because it makes healing a lot easier and it covers more ground in my opinion when you need to heal like more than 1 people. It's kind of like the quick fix for medic. And now his other ability, say goodbye to the sticky goo bomb. It's now been replaced with a heal throwable. I'm welcoming to it, but it leaves with no other ways to attack the enemies. You just have your goo gun and that's all you got. And his design is alright. I like the big backpack he has. It's kind of cool looking. The last 2 notable changes are Chomper and Rose, and I should say this from the start, they're all notable changes that I see myself. And if there are any more changes, please let me know in the comments. I am not the brightest. But for Rose, she's been changed from more of being possibly the worst character in Garden Warfare 2 due to people playing her with 1 hand to being still possibly the worst character in BFN, but she's a support class now, and I wouldn't even play her with 1 hand. Her projectiles auto lock on now, if you're in that upgrade from GW2 where they used to lock on. Her sort of arcane ability is now more of a supportive ability. I think it deals like health and I think damage resistance. I don't really know. I didn't do that much testing with her. And her Godify, holy fuck, dude. Oh my god. Oh, the one in Garden Warfare 2, you had to be so precise, and this one, it's like you throw it and you have like a whole football field worth of space to get Godified into. Like, what the fuck? Oh my god, dude. What were they thinking? Actual Nimrods. Ain't no fucking way, bro. And I think her other abilities, the slowdown, and it's like, it's fine. That's kind of it. Where's the design? Fucking disgusting. I hate it. It is horrible. Absolute glow down IMO, bro. Cannot be more real. And for Chomper, our homeboy Chomper, dude, got a bit of a change in this game. He no longer has the goo spit. He spits goo, but it don't stick. He has a secondary ability where he has range. He can actually do stuff now. And his goo ability from GB1 and 2 have been changed with this weird stinky goo cloud that I don't know what it does. And his other ability, the spike weed, is horrendous now. Instead of just dropping it in front of you, it does a 1-2 bounce. And it lands where it wants to. Why, PopCap? Why? Who hurt you? Who hurt you, PopCap? Who hurt you? Now that has been the new characters and some changes to the old ones. I know that I could have said a bit more, but these are all the ones that I really wanted to talk about. And again, these are the ones that I most know about for BFN between its predecessors. But besides that, on our next section, the differences between BFN and Garden Warfare 2. So, some things I'll be saying in this section will be a little bit of repeat from the previous section, talking about the characters and some differences between, BFN and GW2. And please, pardon my voice, I know it's very voice cracky while recording this audio. I am currently sick, and I've been coughing non-stop for the past 2 days, so please, excuse my voice. Now, one of the more larger differences between Garden Warfare 2 and BFN is obviously the art style. The art style for BFN is kind of claymation-y. That's kind of what I see for it. I think it's alright. Some characters from GW2 and 1 that got transported over to the art style, some of them look good, some of them look horrible. I think the ones that look fine are the base zombie. Foot Soldier looks fine. I think All-Star looks okay. The Sunflower looks fine. Cactus looks okay. It's just a hit or miss, really, for some people. And I think the graphics in this game are pretty good. I think the game looks beautiful in some areas with just like the lighting coming down and just shining with the God rays. Oh, but like, you can't really top just how like Garden Warfare 1 and 2 looked. Those games they just look better. They had a better art style. The graphics, besides them, they look good. They look good for the time and whatnot. And I think they have aged like a fine wine. As in BFN, it kind of aged a little bit like milk in some aspects. And for some other differences, you obviously have the characters and how they look, obviously, and how they play. The other ones that I didn't talk about in the previous section would be the Engineer. The Engineer is this third change in a row between the games. In Garden Warfare 1, he had a drone. In Garden Warfare 2, he had a turret you could use. And now in BFN, you have a turret that you don't use, but it buffs you away. And one of the biggest differences between Garden Warfare 2 Engineer and BFN Engineer is that his projectiles actually bounce, kind of like the Demo Man from TF2, where his pills from his grenade launcher roll, they bounce around the geometry of the map. I'm not opposed to it, but I don't know why we need it. I kind of preferred the way how it is in GW 1 and 2, where it's auto detonation, where it blows up when it hits a target, when it hits the ground. His whole abilities are all different, besides like the turret, which that's kind of kept from GW2, but instead it's auto now. One of his abilities is just, it's like some kind of speed pad that you can throw down, and the other one is obviously, the stun horns, but it's more like an area denial version of it now. It's kind of weird. It's like the one ability from GW 1 and 2 where you can throw down the horns and they stay there. But I don't know, it's kind of weird. Obviously, the big difference, there's no variance in BFN as compared to GW2. I stated that. Another difference is the single player mode. In BFN, they have a dedicated single player mode that is fleshed out with a story, and compared to GW2's single player mode, which is kind of an afterthought, I think it's not as fleshed out. There's not much stuff you can really do with it. It's just do a mission, get coins, there you go. It's just meant to just be like, oh, here, have this little mode you can play on the side if you don't want to play multiplayer anymore. But for BFN, it's fleshed out. There's an actual story to it. There's proper missions, and I do like that difference. But again, I'll cover that in the next section. Now, another difference, I get to say that again, is a very big criminal difference. Just the ops mode. The ops mode is just why? What happened? You had a great like tower defense mode from GW 1 and 2, and like it's been destroyed. What the fuck happened? It's just bad. It's bad now. We went from this awesome 10 wave mode where you could you had challenges during it. You had 2 dedicated boss waves, and now it's like it's only 5 waves. You don't get to pick where your garden is, and you never get to pick what mode it is. It's random if either you do garden ops or graveyard ops. And like, why? Why? It makes no sense at all. And you don't even have a dedicated boss wave. This stupid slot machine that was in GW1 and 2, which actually, you know, had 3 rows for maybe like a boss would show up, 2 bosses, maybe just a big order of zombies would show up, etc., etc. For BFN, it's like one big slot that just has like, oh yeah, they're gonna get these 2 guys and zombies, or like an elite boss, which, like, why? We don't need this. It's stupid. It's so criminal. It's so fucking stupid. Why do we need this shit? You had a great attack and defense mode. Pardon me. You had a great tower defense mode, and yet you ruined it. You absolutely ruined it. And in general, for the differences, you have, obviously, all the characters have different abilities in BFN. Some are just slightly different than others. I'd say the Sunflower, I didn't cover her in the last section. She still has, you know, the Sunbeam ability, the Potted Plant, but instead of having a dedicated heal beam, she has this weird one where she drops little suns everywhere. I don't get it. Why don't we have just like the regular heal beam? And also the reviving. The reviving is different in this game as compared to GW2, as in where instead of staying on the corpse of your friend who died and just holding a button, praying for that you don't get shot down, instead it's like a revival circle that you hold it and you have this area to stay in to revive them. And other people can join too, which I do like that feature to make the revival faster, but I prefer how it is in GW2, as in where medics always revive faster, and when a medic revives you, you go back to full health. And if you're not revived by a medic, it's relatively slower and you're at half health. Another difference that I'm not a big fan of is the difference between how turf takeover works in Garden Warfare 2 and BFN. In Garden Warfare 2, it's basically like attack and defense, with like the control points where you go from one control point to the next, to the next, to the next, and at the end you have this kind of big thing you have to do, so it's something different. With BFN, it's just turned to payload. You first capture the point, and then you have this payload you have to push. Now, I do know that at least I think 2 maps have it to where it's just like a control points, but it's like for the base maps in the game, besides the one with the marshmallows and I think the tourist trap island, it's all of them are just you cap the point, you push the cart to the end, and then you have to like do something goofy at the end, which it's credit where credit is due. It's different from Turf Takeover and Garden Warfare 1 and 2, but you had this perfect formula of you have to defend the point or capture it, and it's like, why do we need that change? I didn't like that change that much. Back then, in like 2019 and 2020, like, oh, I like this. This is fun. I like this game. And now I think about it, like, it's why? Why do we need this change? We didn't need this. And overall, those are all of the differences that I can name off the top of my head. There's so many, there's probably more that I think I've already covered in the previous section, but the main are, obviously, the art style, difference in the characters, old and new, mainly just the old ones from 1 and 2. Some things for the modes as well, and obviously, you know, this game has a dedicated story mode as compared to the GW2's sort of fuck off single player mode. Besides that, on to our next section, the downfall of BFN. Now, the downfall of PvZ BFN is kind of self-induced in a way. One of the sort of bigger things for the reason of his downfall is the bigger focus on the PvE mode as compared to the PvP mode. Comparing it to like Garden Warfare 2, where, you know, again, you had the single player mode that you could play it, coins, and get some, I don't know, get like a thing out of it, you know, just to waste some time if you want to wait for your buds to get on. And the PvP mode was like refined, it was perfect, that's the last minute detail. And for BFN, it's like they put a lot more focus into the PvE aspect, like the story mode and whatnot, having a full map with quests that you can do, side stuff, and so many fucking collectibles. Oh my god. But the PvP mode was kind of underbaked a little bit, because really you only had, I think, 4 modes from Garden Warfare 2 that came back. Turf Takeover, Vanquish, Team Vanquish, and you had some of the other modes too, but I think not a lot of people played them. And also, the whole select screen for the multiplayer portal is kind of ass, because it's all in your face. It's not kind of concise and clear how the one from Garden Warfare 2 was. And if they just put the right focus on both of them equally, it could have been good. Now, another reason is they released the game with no hype, no marketing whatsoever. They just, boom, released it. Early access. And releasing in early access was kind of a bad decision. Now, I'm not against releasing stuff in early access. Probably one of the best examples of a great early access game right now, in this day and age, is Subnautica 2. Holy fuck. That game is amazing. But for BFN, comparing it to Garden Warfare 1 and 2, those games didn't release in early access. Yeah, Garden Warfare 2 had a beta, and I think Garden Warfare 1 did as well, but they released fully finished. Yeah, they had content updates because they're a live service game, to a certain extent, but they came out, the woodworks, finished and polished. Might have had a few bugs, but they were at least finished. They had everything in the game. With BFN, when it released, it had, like, I think, Turf Takeover in it only, and, like, the week after, it had, it then got Vanquish, or Team Vanquish, and it's like, why did they do that? It doesn't make any sense. It's gonna really turn people off. Especially coming off the hype of GW2 and 1, how those, again, released, finished, perfect. And then BFN, it's like a half-baked pizza. It's kind of, I don't know why. And obviously, another reason for the downfall, no variants. I'll talk about that, talk about it lightly. Instead of no variants, there are upgrades in the game, and it's kind of stupid, because you have people that can come into this game, fresh new, and have, like, no upgrades, or the base ones. That, you know, they're fine, they do good stuff here and there. And then you have the veterans who are in lobbies that are just railing everyone, and they have all the meta perks. That's like, bro, what the fuck? Why remove the core and the soul from Garden Warfare 1 and 2 in place for this mere imitation, this just mockery of what it was? It's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. Why? And now, another reason for the downfall is the sort of hub area. Giddy Park, I don't hate it. It's just, it feels soulless. Like, there's no one there. It's like you have the plant space and you have the zombies base. And between that is a fucking theme park that has no correlation whatsoever to the PvZ franchise. The only things that are quote-unquote there are the Gnome Gate and the Crazy Dave statue of, like, one of the Crazy Daves, as compared to the Backyard Battlegrounds, which are full of life because it's in the universe. You have one side plants, one side zombies. You can go in either of those bases too as the opposite team. You can't do that in BFN. You can't do that. And the world feels alive, like it's lived in. There's houses around on each of the side that have, like, lights on, smoke coming out of the chimneys. It feels alive, and there's mystery when you go underneath the battleground and you find the little cave in the sewers with the big gnome area. And it's ruined in BFN where you just have this gate, and, like, you know, it's for the gnomes. You play Garden Warfare 2, but it has no mystery to what the gnomes were back in Garden Warfare 2. And the final nail in the coffin that I say is that they stopped updating BFN not even a year after its release. I think it was like September 1st or 2nd. I don't remember. They stopped updating it. It was a fucking failure. It sucks. I wish the game got more updates, but you can't win them all. I hate to see that this game failed, but it was a very big self-inflicted wound. But besides that, now into our final section, the conclusion of this video, just to wrap everything up in a big old present. In conclusion, PvZ BFN, is it a bad game? No, I don't really think it is. I think at best, it's just mediocre, just okay. I can't really say I would recommend it, unless if you really, really want to get it to play the single player stuff, go ahead. Yeah, there are problems with it, a lot of problems, but I think this game still has some upsides to it over 1 and 2, but it's like minuscule. But if you really want to play a PvZ shooter, I just suggest either playing Garden Warfare 1 and Garden Warfare 2. This game could have been great, but sadly it wasn't due to some self-inflicting wounds, as releasing in early access, having no marketing, no variants as well, and it just sucks to see how this game could have potential, but it was wasted in just slop. But this has been the video, my dear viewers, and to get all the YouTuber shit out the way, if you want to subscribe, go ahead. It can harm me if you don't. If you want to like, dislike. If you want to comment, leave one. If you don't, it ain't gonna hurt me. I do have a Discord if you want to join it. The link for it is in the description. I do stream on Twitch as well every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but that schedule might be changing soon. I do not know. But besides that, this has been CheesyWeezy372 saying good night, America, and I will catch you all in the next one. Goodbye.